From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
We're gonna be alright.
It's Friday, May 10th, 2019, and it's the Relevant Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and here with me in our Orlando studios on the ones and twos, our illustrious engineer, my brother, Chandler Strang.
Hello.
On the Skype line from Loverland, Virginia, Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
Joining us from Nashville, Tennessee, our senior editor, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, everybody.
And joining us from Los Angeles, California? No, Portland, Oregon. Hold on. Jesse, you threw me off last time.
Just hanging loose out here in actually Portland, Oregon.
Oregon.
Made my 15-year-old self who rocked puka shells very happy with that mistake,
that's
though.
right.
So, okay.
Aren't you from
Missouri?
somewhere? Yeah,
I literally
Missouri.
never saw an ocean until I was 20, but I definitely did watch Blue Crush. Therefore, I had a nice collection of Roxy teas and puka shell chokers.
Right. Were you a Hills fan at any point?
What's the hit? Oh, that show with
like the OC,
the Laguna Beach people.
Yeah, like Lauren
that.
Conrad and all. Isn't it back right now? I think it's back on TV.
Oh, be with us.
Sounds like we're talking to the wrong person.
Or it's coming back. And in fact, Aubrey or whatever, that character, she's coming, she's back as a full-grown adult. And then there's new younger people.
I know nothing of this. I'm also the one that at 7:54 Googled things in pop culture. Morning. I got on the internet just so I could be up to date, and I didn't even know what website to go to, so I just Googled it.
Relevant
Magazine. You Googled what? You Googled things in pop culture, period?
This is my favorite Google search of all time. You're trying to keep... You don't want to keep your finger on the pulse by going to relevantmagazine.com. You Google, things in pop culture.
That's the equivalent of a parent who Googles the word email and then clicks the first Hotmail link that comes up. And to them, that's the only way they get to email. How else are you supposed to get to email?
And then tells their kids that work at Google that's how they do it. I didn't really think through that confession super well before I told the pop culture podcast people that I Googled pop culture things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you Googled things in pop culture, did it just respond, "Oh, honey"?
It responded, "Bless you, child."
Well, to be fair, we live in different worlds. I mean, your world is social entrepreneurship and activism and raising people out of systemic poverty. When I look into those issues, I Google how to raise people out of systemic poverty. So, you're right there on the front lines. It's okay.
Thank you for that exercise in empathy, Cameron.
I'm trying my best.
I feel like you walked a mile in my fair trade sandals, and I appreciate that.
It doesn't come naturally. I'm trying my best. Hey, before we get going, I want to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all included with your Squarespace website. Creating a site with Squarespace is a simple, intuitive process. You can add and arrange your content and features with a click of a mouse. You can even design a best-in-class online store with Squarespace's award-winning templates, customizable settings, and more, all without a single plugin, including all the tools you need to track inventory, process orders, and send custom emails in one interface. Squarespace Commerce allows you to understand every aspect of your business. Go to squarespace.com/relevant right now for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your site, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Go do it. We have a great show in store for you today. Coming up later, we talk to Kings Kaleidoscope. They have a brand new album out now that everyone has been hitting us up about. I've been getting texts about this album. We're very excited to bring it to you, give you a taste of the new project, and talk to the lead singer, Chad Gardner from Kings Kaleidoscope. Liz, if you want to Google real quick, Kings Kaleidoscope.
Literally was wondering if I did it on my phone, if you guys would be able to see me.
We would think it's some very important email from a very prestigious activist. Not that you were Googling the band. I have one other question for you, Liz. When you Googled things in pop culture, I'm just curious, what was the first story that caught your eye?
Real. Yeah.
It was the royal baby, which I now know is named Archie.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was actually, that was a warm entrance for me because I do like this royal couple. I'm typically very Not into the pomp and circumstance of the royal situation, but I think Meghan Markle, that's her name, right?
That's it.
Sure.
I think you got it.
She seems awesome,
enough.
and I am pro this part of pop culture. So it was a really soft landing for me.
Interesting.
So you are pro Meghan Markle, but anti-monarchy? Like bring down the monarchy, overthrow the rule of the elites, but she can stay.
Yeah,
No,
That feels like
princess.
that's a good reading on my affection towards the situation. And like in their wedding, they just did things that were like a little bit non-traditional and different, incorporating different, parts of their cultures. I really liked it. I didn't watch it. I liked the commentary.
If I'm hearing correctly, Liz Bohannon is coming around on taxpayer-funded extravagance, right? And pomp and circumstance that is funded by the people. That's what you're coming around on. You're really starting to embrace it. It's a new lane for you.
It seems like the people are very into it.
That's true.
Like, I'm not going to be who wants to be the American activist that goes over to the UK and tries to say, like, do you know where your dollars are coming? Because it seems like they feel very happy about the situation.
Yeah, it does.
Good point.
I've never really understood it because they don't really hold any real power. It'd be one thing if they were actual like royalty and could just decree things, but that they just kind of hang out.
Jesse, you got to understand the situation over there.
I'm baffled
British
by it.
The British people. I mean, if you look around, their buildings are like 1,000 years old. 1,000 years old. I mean, they're all like nothing's changing ever. You look out the window, it's always gray and gloomy. They just need something. They need something that's a distraction. Look at that pretty dress. Look at the flowers at the royal palace. Like they need that aspirational distraction because the dreariness of the normal British life is something that no person could handle otherwise.
Well, I'll say this. I do appreciate their sense of humor because they're like, hey, let's take the most stern, disciplined soldiers on earth. Like literally guys that all they do is march, hold giant guns, and don't flinch in the face of constant threats of hilarity from tourists. And let's dress them up in ridiculously hilarious hats. And they'll look like nutcrackers. And also,
or maybe nutcrackers look like them. Maybe
really
the nutcrackers are made in their image.
It's the chin strap that really gets me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because I'm picturing like the guy who
The
designed.
hat's
They're like,
falling off otherwise. They got to have a chin strap.
no, but it goes on their nose.
No, the chin strap should go
Yeah, it's
under
too
the
high.
chin. It's like a smaller lip chin strap.
true.
That's what I'm
true.
thinking. I'm thinking like the guy that designed it, like the royals, like, okay, we got these disciplined guys. We need the most hilarious costume ever. And they like brought the costume out with that tall furry hat. And the king's like, what would make this even better? If the chin strap was awkwardly short. They're like, it's perfect. Let's have it right up on their nose. It's a great way we can all as a nation get a laugh at the expense of soldiers who march. Yeah.
Also, The Office.
Yeah.
Speaking of British humor.
Do we have anything in American culture that would be like comparable to that? Like, do we have anything that
to
we're
the
supposed to
soldiers
respect?
or to the pomp and circumstance?
To that we're supposed to respect this, but deep down we all know that these people look deeply stupid.
I could say a lot of things, but I'm not sure how.
Yeah, I don't want to get into.
allowed to
I
get
don't
on
mean
this
like their faces.
podcast.
I don't mean their faces. I mean just like the uniforms. Like, it looks a little ridiculous. Because a police officer uniform, like they got a little hat, but it's like I feel like it doesn't get in the way of their job.
I don't know if we have a uniform, but I think we can all agree the Washington Monument's pretty lame. Like it's just a spike.
I don't know.
It's just a huge spike. Like all of DC is really cool, and there's like these gigantic statues of presidents that look lifelike, and there's just a big spike in the middle of the city, and it gets a pass.
You know what I like about the Washington Monument?
What's that?
Well, it's a spike. So I feel like 50 years from now, when we realize that all of us were actually like pretty ignorant, racist, misogynist, all of the things that we're probably doing that we don't actually realize it, that spike has cultural longevity, because it's not of a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's true.
I see.
It's not going to
that's
get taken
interesting.
down
That's a good
50
take.
or 100 years from now because of what it like represents. A spike can grow with the culture as the culture evolves in a way that statues of humans can't as much.
You're saying it's so vague in its intention and what it's actually representing that we could, if we decided tomorrow, like, actually, this is a monument to anti-slavery, everybody would be like, well, sure.
Yeah, why not?
But
It's a
I don't know.
spike. Whatever you want.
That is like $100 renovation, change the plaque
Interesting.
and make it about something else, which it's like, we can't do that with,
So you're big
old
on
white guys that are dead.
You're big on
Yeah.
flexibility, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I'm big on evolution and like progress,
Growth.
I feel like, and
Growth.
culture evolving, and us as people being willing to say, like, you know what? Yeah, me 5 days ago, 10 years ago, our country 100 years ago, like, ooh, we could have done better. Now we know better, so we're going to do better. And I feel like a problem in our country is that it's like all one or the other. Either burn it all down and everybody's evil and we can't, have real conversation or relationships because everybody on the opposite side of the spectrum is evil. Or it's like, no, if you critique my great, great, great grandfather, you're critiquing me and my it's just like, there's no ability for us to like live in the complexity and the grace, but also accountability that I think comes with being a human, which is like, we're trying. And when we know better and when we're evolving, we should allow ourselves as a culture and as a human race to do that without feeling like we're erasing ourselves because of that.
That's one of the reasons why I like doing the type of media we do versus like you write a book and you got to like, that's it. And that's it forever. And it's finite and permanent. For us with a magazine, your next one has to be your best one. It's you start over with 100 blank pages and it's like, what are we going to say next month that needs to be said that we haven't said yet? And it's pushing you to always look forward and evolve. And you can't stay there. You can't stay where you were. It's like literally every month we have to throw away. We create and then it gets thrown away and we got to start over. And I love that because it's always keeping us. I'm Googling all the time what's happening in pop culture. You know what I'm saying? Things in pop culture.
Driving a lot of value
You
for the
guys-
relevant listeners, you guys.
Liz, you sparked all these profound thoughts in all of us. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, in hindsight, Lincoln's stovetop hat is pretty hilarious, especially with that neck beard he's got going. Not aged well. Bold
It's
fashion
still on the
move.
costume.
Yeah.
Liz, you've
Okay.
made me realize that because my intention, what I'd been wanting to do was just take a bunch of dynamite to Mount Rushmore and blow up one of the faces. I don't care which one, into like Aretha Franklin or something, like that.
I would be here for that.
That would be a much more, but I like your idea much better of just finding very vague, like things that don't necessarily have
Objects.
to mean anything and reapplying them.
Yeah, I like that too.
Although we could do both.
So
We could do-
Mount
for
Rushmore,
both.
you re-chisel it. It's a thumbtack. It's a wheel. I mean, it's just like now it's just objects. We can say the object represents something, and in 100 years, that object might be renamed. Right?
I think I would be total. I don't think anybody would care. I mean, I think Mount Rushmore is an incredible feat of engineering. I think it's amazing.
It
that
is
they could use
objectively
bombs
weird. It's objectively
it's very
weird.
strange.
It's a
very
tourist trap.
strange.
Yeah.
It's a tourist trap. But I don't think anybody would care at all if if kind of the lesser one of the four, and I think we all know who I'm talking about, if we bombed his face into Prince. Like if it was Prince instead of Thomas Jefferson, everybody would be like, oh yeah, Prince is great. We all like Prince.
Here's my idea for Mount Rushmore. And if I let's just say I'm someone who really wants to stick it to a guy like Thomas Jefferson. Here's what I do. I buy Mount Rushmore. That's step one of this long con. 2, I blast in hilarious facial hair and an eye patch, right? He's going to look hilarious. Then after the apocalypse and America is no more and people resettle this land, they'll look back and like, oh, look at these great men. Look at that guy with a hilarious, soul patch and an eye patch. And they'll forever think that's how Thomas Jefferson looked. It's the ultimate long con to really stick it to that guy,
Pirate, some sort of like goofy pirate.
The idea of chiseling things on the side of a mountain is a bold move because if you look at Stone Mountain in Georgia, I mean, the side of a mountain is Robert E. Lee and the Confederacy. And it is like, oh, here's a huge monument to our racist past, you know? And it's like...
Hasn't aged great.
Hasn't aged great.
I think it was instantly outaged, considering they lost the war. Yeah.
It wasn't great at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't great. Maybe it was just never.
We need to just turn Stone Mountain into a big water park or something. Just kind of like take those concave parts of the statue and just turn it into slides and stuff. So you start at the top and just...
Or you
like that.
Or I think they let you sell like carton of eggs just outside, and you can just throw them and go, take this traitor, and you racist traitor, and just throw eggs at it. like
so it's a way to let
you're
off some
saying.
steam.
It's repurposing it in Liz's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
So
I feel really good
defacing
about
the
that
racist
plan.
monuments is the new era. So we leave them, but we get to deface them. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so.
It's cheaper than
It's kind
removing
of like,
them.
they
that's a
have
big
those
wall.
things where you can like pay $10 and go like destroy a car to get your anger out.
Yeah.
This is a great idea. This could be a taxpayer. We could bring in money for the
Be a
government.
boon.
You can throw stuff on the
Be
side
huge.
of a racist mountain and just feel
How are you-
better.
The racist mountain.
That's what
Sorry.
it is.
Don't cut Medicare. Just charge money to throw it down. This is easy.
This is how we save Social Security, is what
This
you're
is
saying.
great. This is great. Yeah, I love this idea.
Liz, I think you deserve
All
to
right.
be.
So which one of the five of us is up in 2020?
Yeah, running
Because
for
these
office.
ideas,
Yeah.
they're sticky.
I have a plan to save Social Security. Here's the deal. We're going to charge admission and throw stuff at racist monuments.
Liz, I would vote for you to lead this nation, but I would vote you into like a royalty position as well. So it's a lifetime thing.
No real power, but you get
You just want me to be the
Appearances.
Am I just the talking head to you, Jesse?
You
No,
Jesse Carey from
no,
Lover's
Liz.
Land?
You come up with the hilarious, dangerous ideas that real politicians aren't bold enough to do, like making the Washington Monument into something fresh and funny, hilarious ways to vandalize monuments we don't like. No politician wants that lane. But Liz, this is a lifetime appointment for you. You would be the Queen of America. You could do whatever you
So
want.
I have your vote.
Now, Oprah's the Queen of America. She would be some other title.
Yeah,
Oprah could be in your cabinet, though.
Wow. Wow.
You could open the cabinet.
Wait. Beyonce's the queen. Oprah's the queen mother.
I feel like now I keep getting demoted, rightfully so, but I think there's no way I'm at this point
You're the
with
Meghan
Beyonce and
Markle.
Oprah more than like a royal
No,
secretary
you're
at
the
this
Meghan
point.
Markle. You're the
I'm
Meghan.
a scribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would still, you get to enact a lot of cool policy ideas, like Jesse said, that other politicians are just too scared. That we're all thinking it. We all want to do this. We've all wanted to throw eggs at what do we call it now? Mount racism or something. But you're the first one to come out and say this is my vision for the future of this country. I'm excited. I'm excited
All
to
right.
cast a
If
vote in 2020.
If you guys will help with the campaign, let's do it.
It's a new Hardy Boys mystery novel, Adventures at Racist Mountain. I would read that on summer break.
And while we're at it, Liz, I would like, if you're in control, I would like for the U.S.
Just
Mint
putting in requests now.
to print giant bills, like giant $20 bills, so that I can pay for things like I'm giving, an award to someone at a golf charity event. Like that's how I want to pay. I want to make a big show for it. So see what you can do about giant $20 bills, because that would just be a good time
I'm
for
going to
everyone.
speak to this experience because I had an experience once
Okay.
where I was, let's see, I was 9 months pregnant. I was in New York. I was presenting. I was at this like conference thing at the Rockefeller Center in New York.
Wow.
And I was a little bit doubting my decision to come to this thing at 9 months pregnant and just
9
wondering
months
like,
pregnant.
was this the best use of my time? I kid you not. I turned to my husband and I'm like, I feel like unless we leave here with like a $10,000 check, we made the wrong call. Kid you not. Less than 3 minutes later, they like Oprah surprise bomb all the companies that were presenting
They gave you
with $10,000 checks for our for our startups, for our companies on those like exactly what you're talking about, those huge cardboard checks.
Oh,
and then I had to like waddle down whatever avenue Rockefeller Center is on as a 9 month pregnant woman with a giant cardboard check. And whereas it sounds like that's your best life, I felt very insecure about the whole. I was not.
Oh, yeah.
That was not the moment that I wanted to live in.
I would only feel insecure when I'm like waiting in line at the bank and the teller sees, oh great, it's another one of those people with those big $10,000 checks. Like it barely fit. Like now I got to walk outside the glass here because I can't slide it under. You know,
Liz, I'd never thought about the aftermath. You see the cameras. You see the flashing lights. I don't think about these poor people who now are burdened with wealth, having to walk down New York Street, New York City,
subway with a giant cardboard check. But throwing it away feels a little ungrateful, don't you think?
yeah.
I thought it was ceremonious where they just kind of like, boom, picture, and then like the person who brought it to you kind of took it and they just put it in the back room or whatever.
No, they leave that home with you. You have to make the decision. And we were really like, we kind of wanted to like bring it back. I mean, just to be very clear, I've never in my life been handed a $10,000 check before. So we thought it would be like really fun to like bring it back to our office and show our team. And we had this idea for this project we could do now with this funding, blah, 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 blah. So it was like the end goal was getting to then present it at the office. But all the in between of like being like hot and sweaty and huge and pregnant and like trying to get on a subway with a giant check, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Did you like tie it on top of your car like a new mattress? like is that how did you transport it? How do you get it from point A to point B? Subway.
Yeah, you're checking that. That's not carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
No,
You
we
put a
ended
bag
up
tag
folding
on
it in half. And that really took away a lot of the like illustrious presentation to our team.
Sure.
When it was like a crinkled, crappy, like this has traveled all the way from the East Coast deck. So should have just thrown it away.
Yeah.
Lessons learned.
All right, well, moving the show along, it is time for the hot list, which you will hear coming up right after this break. You're listening to Of Monsters and Men. The song is Alligator. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Judah and the Lion with All Right. Okay, it's time for...
It's the hot list. The hot list. It's sizzling.
So stupid. So stupid. All right, going to number 5 this week. This is just from us Googling things that happened in pop culture. We didn't even consult relevantmagazine.com or the relevant Twitter feed or anything like that. Just Googled. The royal family named their baby. Oh, number 1 item. I'm kidding.
Wow. Did you see my face?
That's
I
not
was
the
like,
relevant.
boom, I'm the resident expert.
Relevant doesn't cover the royal babies. Coming in at number 5 this week, Focus on the Family this week publicly clarified some things about, you remember Adventures in Odyssey? Well, they clarified some things about Mr. Whitaker's political ideology.
Hey, Liz, hold on real quick. Liz, were you an Adventures in Odyssey fan at any point?
The 90s Focus on the Family cartoon with... You didn't...
I missed
You were
that boat.
spared.
Missed that boat.
You were
Yeah,
spared.
you were
I was
there.
watching Blue Crush. Sorry.
There's no crash course.
Yeah.
But Focus on the Family had a radio drama for children, for the whole family, but aimed at young kids. That took place in this town called Odyssey, and it was kind of about just like the lives and kind of like the lives of people and the Bible lessons they learned, mostly via a kindly old grandfatherly figure named Mr. Whitaker, who was kind of the town like moral anchor, I suppose. And he would dispense little life lessons.
It sounds so thrilling. I'm sure you realize how much your childhood was missing, Liz.
It is.
you
My
Google
heart
pop
is
culture
beating
things, it'll be
faster
right.
just
It'll be
listening
right.
to that description.
Well, John Whitaker, Mr. Whitaker, ran Wits End. It was something of a cross between an old-timey ice cream parlor, a Christian after-school program, and a science laboratory. So from there, he would dispense like moral advice and Bible lessons to the young and the young at heart. Well, this week, our very own Tyler Huckabee was corrected on Twitter by the official Focus on the Family Twitter account when he speculated that Mr. Whitaker was MAGA. So he said Mr. Whitaker is MAGA. Because at the time, Focus on the Family was founded by and run by James Dobson, who's now a conservative radio show host and vocal supporter of Trump. Now, James Dobson's no longer at Focus on the Family. He hasn't been there for years, but in that era, he was. Yeah. So anyway, the official Focus on the Family Twitter account saw the Mr. Whitaker is MAGA tweet by our very own Tyler Huckabee and responded with a gif of a baby duck adamantly shaking its head, saying the word no. The big word no, right?
Well, that's good. I mean, to be honest.
Then they followed up with a tweet that they said, here's the quote, John Avery Whitaker is a complex man, but if there's one thing that's always been self-evident about him, it's his commitment to the upside-down ways of the kingdom of heaven that defy the world's ways, to the kingdom work of sacrificial service, not political power, #, Jesus Juke.
And hey, hold on. We
what?
Jesus Juke. Like they took it to Jesus Jukes. Like when you're saying something and somebody throws a scripture zinger on you and they Jesus Juke you on. Juke.
My interpretation of that is Whitaker's definitely a Bernie bro. Like he's feeling. I think Whitaker's feeling the burn. Upside down kingdom. That sounds like some hippie Bernie bro, Whitaker.
It's worth noting that then they followed up with another GIF tweet of Ron Swanson saying, "I've said too much," and walking away. So
that's what those I am like, wait, who? This was actually from Focus on the Family.
Focus on the Family. Yes.
But I think their social media guy went rogue.
They went up a significant notch in my brain. That is like a funny GIF, an actually very beautifully written statement, followed up by Ron Swanson dropping the mic. I feel impressed.
Good for them. I disagree with you, Jesse. I do not think he's a Bernie bro. I think Mr. Whitaker didn't vote for the president. I think Mr. Whitaker went to the polling station because he cared about the county clerk vote. He cared about the sheriff that was up for election.
Yeah.
He voted all the locals. And I think he's not divisive. I think he couldn't pick a side. He's not Hillary. He's not Trump. I think he just left it blank. That's my gut.
My actual theory is
no
this.
vote is a vote. Just being practical.
But Mr. Whitaker doesn't want to offend any of his patrons.
Vote or die, Mr. Whitaker. No, here's my thing is this. I'm going to focus on the families in Colorado Springs. He's out there in the middle of Colorado. He strikes me as a fringe libertarian, like some I think Mr. Whitaker has some very concerning political ideology. He wrote in a candidate that no one's ever heard of for good reason. Just, I think he's on a far fringe, but that's okay. At least we know it's not. It sounds
like with his ice cream shop, he was trying to monetize his Christian after school program. So he does have some bent and affection towards capitalism.
Yeah,
that's true. That's a good point. That's why that's what I would pitch him as
giving
more
away the ice cream,
like a never Trump Republican, like a Ben Sass type. Remember that whole thing? I feel like he would be one of those
Kucinich. You think he would be a conservative, but Trump's offensive aspects would grieve him.
That would be
he's a conservative.
Mitt Romney.
Yeah, he would be all about Mitt Romney.
Yeah, I think that would be my.
See, I think he was more of like a Gary Johnson type, like a third party that had no shot, but just for the sake of it, I'm just going to throw him out there for the sake of the third party.
Because he's like, my conscience is clean. I go home knowing I voted for the person that I really wanted to win. But I think we're missing the real story here.
Yeah.
And I do love this story, which is, I think Focus on the Family social media intern went rogue. I think there is a disconnect between the Focus exec team, which has hosted members of the Trump administration right there in Colorado Springs, Colorado, has brought these people in. And now there's some guy from Colorado, fresh out of college, got his journalism degree, took a Twitter job for Focus. I think he just knows that nobody who signs the paychecks has a Twitter at Focus.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, if you are out there, I will hire you.
The focus on
There it is.
Yeah, because to me,
and your first paycheck will be ridiculously large.
It'll have a crease down the middle of it.
Very difficult.
It will be for $10,000. It won't be redeemable, but don't get caught up in the details.
But the good thing is the social. I don't think their job's in danger because I don't think the social media accounts are really on the radar of the executives. They Google what is a Twitter to try to find Twitter. Like that's how they're never going to find out about this.
My lesson that this is not necessarily a safe place.
No.
For my vulnerabilities.
No, it's not at all. Coming
Maybe
in
next time. Time's charm, you guys.
Number 4 on the hot list. This week, Vogue magazine said they think that Aladdin star Naomi Scott could help inspire young people's faith. She plays Jasmine in the upcoming live-action remake of Aladdin and also graces the cover of British Vogue this month. So Naomi Scott frequently speaks about her faith and how it informs her career and all aspects of her life, so much so that British Vogue editor-in-chief said, "What she has to say about faith and young love is timely and insightful. I'm also excited to see how she's going to energize a whole generation of British girls and young women who will look at her story, her religion, her style and work ethic, and see a different sort of ingenue from the sort that Hollywood used to fall for." Along with being an accomplished actress and recording artist, Naomi Scott is also a former worship leader. In an interview with Hypebeast, she talked about how leading worship in church has helped her as an actress and an artist. She said, "God is the ultimate creative force. Growing up in the church fostered an inner spirituality that also introduced me to the concept of music having a deeper meaning. There's always been a connection between my faith and realizing that music can have a soul and purpose, which has ultimately affected the way I approach the art. Listening to soulful vocalists like Mary Mary and Kim Burrell, playing the piano and leading worship has directly shaped my artistry." There you go. So go see Aladdin, everybody.
If it wasn't for Will Smith as the genie, I think I would. But it's for there. I like. Here's the thing. I think Will Smith, even to this day, is one of the most likable humans on the planet.
Yeah, but
like,
not for that role. Not that role.
He's
why
we need a big a big guy. We need a guy who looks like Genie. In my opinion,
we need Robin Williams, to be honest. But
yeah, that's true.
I don't. It's to me like I can get over the appearance. There's just something about his like
he's too cool, and the genie needs to be goofier.
Yeah, exactly. That's precisely like when I see Will Smith.
Danny DeVito as the genie. I can
into
that.
Oh yeah, well I'd be on board with that.
Yeah, because like Will Smith, I want Will Smith from Bad Boys. I want the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know, I don't want to see a bumbling green dude or blue. You know, I want cool Will Smith. There's something about it that's very unsettling to me. It's very unsettling.
Maybe they're remaking the character of the genie. Maybe he'll just be like super witty.
I guess.
And cool.
I don't want him to be
I see what you're saying. I feel a little bit of that.
I want Danny DeVito.
Let's call Danny DeVito.
Yeah, let's see if it's too late for them to call an audible here. The movie's not coming out for another few weeks. They can splice together a few scenes with. With
I mean, honestly, did you hear about the Sonic the Hedgehog stuff?
Yeah,
I mean, like
they're taking it back to square one.
The trailer came out. Liz, I'm telling you because you haven't Googled this yet. So the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog, they're doing they're doing a live action remake of Sonic movie of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Live action, like real people.
Yeah, but obviously Sonic
plus
is
CGI, not a real hedgehog.
And so Sonic is like everybody has a picture in their head from the 90s, and there was a Sonic cartoon for years in the 90s,
Yep.
and his mouth had a certain look to it. It is a certain cartoon animation to it. Well, the CGI, like they gave him like a human mouth, and it just doesn't look like Sonic. And after the trailer released, the backlash was so significant that the director said, "We're going to go back. We're going to scramble and we're redoing the mouth of Sonic for the release in a few weeks." So they're going back and redoing all of it.
Well, so specifically the problem was it has people teeth. Sonic the Hedgehog has teeth with little spaces. Yeah. It's like they took a real human's teeth and put them on the CGI. It's very unsettling. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen, I think it might have been a Tumblr or something where this person was photoshopping on human adult teeth into babies. And it is so unsettling. It is like just baby pictures, but very accurately photoshopped on adult teeth. And it is horrifying.
As a nursing mother, that sounds like my actual worst nightmare.
For sure.
That's like my version version of Freddy Krueger right now.
Yeah. So Sonic.
That's what Sonic looked like. And I didn't know. I mean, I don't know why you couldn't do this. Just go back and redo your design. That's just an awfully big job. You're probably asking a bunch of like low paid CGI like interns to do a bunch of late nights to remake your whole entire movie. You're the star of your new movie, the title character. Time for a release that's very soon in the future.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, all that to say, Danny DeVito, call the studio because it's not too late for you to get into Aladdin. Let's boot Will Smith.
And I like it because it would make Genie kind of grumpy. Like I think we need I think the world's ready for a grumpy Genie.
He's been trapped in that stupid lamp for
he's been in a lamp for
of course
4,000 years or whatever.
Yeah,
right? He's pretty grumpy too.
Yeah.
Maybe Charlie Day. I mean, I like the DeVito thing, but you could also something about Charlie kind of makes sense.
He's too young. He's not a wise old genie. I need a guy who has some experience.
I'll be honest,
but a little crusty.
A little crusty. I need a crusty genie.
I could see any cast member from Always Sunny as the genie. Like I don't know why, but I could see it, and I'll stand by that. I think they made a huge mistake here, but nothing we can do.
All right, coming in number 3 this week on the hot list. This week, Justin Bieber encouraged fans struggling with anxiety and worry to turn to faith. In a lengthy Instagram post, Bieber talked about his own struggles with anxiety and how embracing biblical truths has helped him. He wrote, "Fight for what you love and who you love. Don't let fear and anxiety win. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and of a sound mind." He said, "I haven't believed the truth about myself. I haven't believed I am loved. I haven't believed I am forgiven. It's a hard thing for me to wrap my head around. I hang my head in shame and I wallow in sadness about the people who have betrayed me. Jesus has given me freedom, and the pursuit of getting to know his character is never ending. God's character never changes. He is the same yesterday, now, and forever. He is always good. I won't be afraid to be vulnerable before him. His power is made strong in our weakness." Then he told fans, "God isn't afraid of your pain and your brokenness. He actually welcomes it. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." These are words from Jesus. There is hope, and it's in him. He loves and cares for you. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son, so that whoever believes in him won't die and have eternal life. He accepts you as you are. He loves and forgives you and welcomes you into his arms every time you mess. He is a perfect and loving God who adores you. The post has gotten nearly 4 million likes so far. So,
okay, hold up. That was on Twitter?
Instagram.
Got it. I thought maybe Twitter changed the rules on me.
Google, what is the
maybe
Instagram?
I would log back in because I could use more words.
Google, how to Instagram.
The people that focus on the family right now are furiously typing away into Google to try to figure out how to contact this Justin Bieber fellow. we got a young preacher, 4 million people liking this young Mr. Bieber.
Google Justin Bieber Jesus. Google email Justin Bieber.
I'm curious what you guys think about. I thought what he wrote was beautiful. I think that there's a lot of truth in it. What do we feel about the danger of over spiritualizing mental illness? Like, if I'm struggling with mental illness and I read that, there was kind of no mention about pursuing help, pursuing professional, do we feel like that contributes to this notion of like, oh, not only am I kind of ashamed because I'm struggling with mental illness or depression or anxiety, but now it's because I don't love God enough or because I'm not like a good enough Christian?
Yeah. I think that's a really great point. And I also think, it's helpful when kind of discussing these issues to like make the distinction between seasons of worry and fear and anxiety and like diagnose, having, generalized anxiety disorder. And sometimes the line is very blurry, but I do think totally. It is the most responsible thing to do is to kind of destigmatize any kind of mental health struggle and say, yeah, obviously as Christians, we think that, turning to God is beneficial no matter what you're suffering from. But if someone has a broken arm, you still go to the doctor to get it fixed. And if someone is suffering from emotional or mental distress, yeah, Liz, I think you're totally right. Like they should have the clarity that this isn't either or. This is, yes, these biblical truths are true, but there are also avenues to get help from a professional. And sometimes that may involve medication. Sometimes it may involve counseling. And, I think that's a really important distinction and a good point, Liz.
I think it's a temptation. I think we all have when we got this social media, when we got this like phone or pocket, all of a sudden you come across something like, oh, I want to share this with the followers, which, and not all of us have the reach of Justin Bieber yet, but I think that it's really easy when you're in the moment, when you're recording something just to drop on Instagram or on Twitter to forget that there's a lot of nuance to almost every topic, especially topics like mental health and emotional health that he was addressing in there. And I think that's something that sometimes getting like kind of lightly dragged on social media can be good for, to remind you that there's a lot of different people out there who have a lot of different takes, and your take isn't necessarily the only exclusive one. So that's a really good point, Liz. I hadn't thought about that in connection with this one in particular.
I also think, the opposite side of that is like we do, I think, need to have grace for public figures to be like, I think there's a lot of pressure to take things out of context on social media and be like, you didn't address the full scope of the full issue, and therefore, like, you're wrong. Yeah. And so I think it's like, I don't think Justin Bieber did anything wrong necessarily, but maybe could it have been better? Would it be awesome to see him in the future speak out about pursuing mental health healing in a less spiritual and kind of more medical psychological context? That could be an awesome thing for him to do. He does.
Yeah. He's posted about that, struggling with anxiety and depression and mental illness issues over the last year, especially. He's been very open about that on social media.
That's awesome.
This post was just the more Jesus focused one, but he absolutely has posted about getting help. He's gone on, he's sought help in a number of ways. He's been very transparent about his journey. Hey, coming in number 2 this week on the hot list, the breakout Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman. His next film has an interesting connection to Christian history. He's going to star in a new film about a real-life figure named Yasuke, the first African samurai in Japan. Historians believe that Yasuke was the first black man to set foot in Japan, as he was the slave of Jesuit missionaries to the country. The story spotlights the Jesuits' role in the slave trade. With films like The Mission and Martin Scorsese's Silence, Jesuit missionaries have typically been depicted as noble figures, but this film shows their participation in the awful act of owning slaves. In 2017, the Jesuit Society of Jesus issued a public apology to the descendants of slaves near Washington, D.C., whose ancestors were sold to fund Georgetown University. They said, "We have greatly sinned in our thoughts and in our words, in what we have done and what we have failed to do. The Society of Jesus prays with you today because we have greatly sinned and because we are profoundly sorry." In the upcoming Chadwick Boseman film, Yasuke develops an unexpected friendship with a Japanese warlord, which leads to Yasuke becoming a legendary samurai. In a statement to Deadline, Chadwick Boseman said, "The legend of Yasuke is one of history's best-kept secrets, the only person of non-Asian origin to become a samurai. That's not just an action movie, that's a cultural event, an exchange, and I'm excited to be part of it." Very cool.
Every part of this movie makes me want to see it. Chadwick Boseman, samurais, like the historical story. Plus, it seems like Chadwick Boseman, I was looking the other day, because I wasn't really aware of, I guess he was in the film Marshall, I think, about Thurgood Marshall. But I wasn't really aware of him as an actor until Black Panther, which, I think Chadwick Boseman is now like in his 40s, which, for an actor seems kind of like, maybe like a later start than we're used to. But I'm glad he's kind of spreading out after, Black Panther and Endgame and all of the Marvel stuff, because he seems like a really, talented performer.
He did. And it seems like, I think there's been, there's like some questions in the industry about whether or not these Marvel movies are like good for your career or not. Because sometimes some people just get stuck in them and have been stuck in them for coming up on 10 years now. But Chadwick Boseman's got a lot of projects coming down the pike after this. Black Panther was really good for his career and doesn't seem to be limiting him to just one role. I think people will right now, probably when they see him, they're like, oh, the Black Panther guy. But pretty soon he'll just be Chadwick Boseman, famous actor.
By the way, he's 41. 41.
Does not look 41
I just Googled pop culture ages, and there he was, right at the top.
I will say 41 for a man in Hollywood is very acceptable. If he were 41 and just getting a start as a woman, he would definitely be casted as like the crotchety woman who just lost her husband or somebody's mom. That's way too old. You're like dead in Hollywood at that point. But 41 for a dude, that's prime time.
Yeah, there is. It's
hot take. It's a hot take.
No, but she's right. I mean, it like, really underscores the disparity of like women and men's ages and like even like the income disparity.
Listen to this. She's calling out gender inequality in Hollywood. She's calling out mental health, holistic healing and development. She's calling out big checks. She's calling out monuments. and they don't have... Liz Bohannon could bring in the hot takes.
Chin straps that are clearly too short. We can all see this. Just like in the chin strap. They look ridiculous. There's no technical advantage to wearing the hat with the chin strap that short.
The only thing I want listeners to take away from this podcast, it's chin straps.
That's right.
Well, I was to your point. To your point, Liz, I was reading Charlize Theron was giving an interview about how she turned down the role of Wonder Woman's mom that she was offered. She said it was a slap in the face. She's 9 years older than Gal Gadot and was asked to play her mother's. And of course, she ended up turning that down because that does feel like she's not very old. Yeah. She doesn't look like Wonder Woman's mother, but I think there is this idea in Hollywood that once you're 40, it's time for you to be the hero's mom character.
Amy Schumer has an incredible sketch about this, where she's like on a run and she's like in a field, and all of a sudden she sees this like gathering, and it's like, oh, I don't know who's in it. Maybe it's like, so it's Amy Schumer, maybe Tina Fey, Julia Dreyfus. That's her name, right? From Veep. Some of these women who have kind of like crossed over, and they're having this like ceremony for themselves. They're just like eating ice cream and letting themselves go because they're like, we're over 40 and like we're just like, it's done.
I remember
we're
this.
out to sea. We're just gonna like send each other out. It's really brilliant, and I recommend people watching it. It's better than my rendition. But.
All right, coming in at number 1 this week on the hot list, a youth pastor spoiling the end of Endgame. It's a big movie, Liz. If you want to Google Endgame.
We're about to spoil it for you.
Superheroes.
It's gone viral because of us, actually. The video shocked the internet and may offer some clue as to why the next generation is leaving the church in record numbers because youth pastors do stunts like this.
Unbelievable.
And even though someone put the Curb Your Enthusiasm music behind the video, it's still shocking. Warning, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Endgame. Here's a clip.
Or your struggles and you're pouring your heart out, or it doesn't have to be that deep. Like maybe you're talking about the latest Avengers movie or something and how Iron Man's dead or something like that.
The crowd screams.
I heard people in the crowd renouncing their faith right there, just shouting out. Just shouting,
Hail Satan!
Now!
Hail Satan!
How long had the movie been out? It's a movie, right?
It's been
Not
out a month, a week and a half at this point. But when he did that, it had been out about like it had been out like 5 days when he did that.
Yeah.
It was like the midweek service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the great church scandals of our time, right here. It's caught on tape, unbelievable. I can't, we wonder why this why faith is in decline. And, it's.
I will say a little behind the scenes. We posted that because we thought it was funny, and it had not gone viral. We posted it with our little the youth pastors like this is why the generation is leaving the church.
I think we tagged David Kinnaman in the tweet too.
And we did, yeah, Barna. And the church got mad and reached out. Like they were very upset. The church
of the pastor's church?
the guy's church, because we were making fun of it.
No, we did not name the pastor.
We didn't.
Because we believe in grace.
We didn't. But the fact that
we believe in second
posted
chances.
they were very, very upset. And we're like, and now it's gone viral. So it's, oh well.
That was the second large Christian institution that we upset that day, because we had written something on the website about how
tell Liz the website is Relevant Magazine. You can spell RELEVANT. Relevant Magazine.
We had written something on the site. I just thought it was interesting and that people would be interested in it. How Pat Robertson, the 700 Club closed. He went on and he said,
spiritual icon.
Yeah, he said
mentor.
Him and James Dobson were Googling how to contact Bieber, and he had said that he called young Earth creationism like embarrassing and ridiculous, that the world's only a few thousand years old. Yeah. So we wrote about it, and in the little write up, we had a line that said, this is, controversial because there are some, figures in Christianity that, this is their whole platform. And I said, at the Creation Museum in Kentucky, which is a quote unquote museum that purports to the belief that the earth is, if you follow back biblical genealogies and read the Old Testament literally, the earth is only like 6,000 years old. They actually, in Cameron, we went there one time in the Creation Museum. There is a dinosaur with a saddle on it, and you can sit on the saddle and act like you're riding the dinosaur because according to their timeline, that would match up. So we added that as just like a little throwaway funny line in there. Their people sent me they were like, we need you to issue a correction and an apology. They were like, that dinosaur, you said it was part of an exhibit. They're like, that was for photo ops only. It was not an exhibit. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. A display at a museum that you take pictures of isn't a museum. How could we possibly have gotten that wrong? What kind of journalists are we to get that wrong? So I write the correction just as they ask, and I put it in there. And then Kent Ham, who's the guy who's over the Creation Museum, he gets mad at us on Twitter because the image accompanying the story is a guy in like an inflatable Halloween costume that looks like he's riding a dinosaur. It was a objectively hilarious picture. They have no sense of humor. None of them. Like, two people were upsetting the same day. This church with this youth pastor who, frankly, deserves to be called out, and the Creation Museum. Everyone these days has no sense of humor.
We learned that the church was upset because we have a lot of mutual friends, apparently. We didn't know this. We have a lot of mutual friends with that church, and they were reaching out to the mutual friends going, which one of you sent this to Relevant? And they were very upset. So
I do not reveal my sources. I'm a journalist.
That's right.
This is serious journalism.
Not
really funny. All right, well, that'll do it for
It's the hot list. The hot list. It's sizzling.
It's a hot one this week with the Liz Bohannon hot takes. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Kings Kaleidoscope joins us. Liz, it's spelled K-A-L.
Already on it. Already found it. Got it pulled up right here, guys.
You took a fall, now you're frustrated. You got it all, but you can't take it. You hit a wall, so jaded. Who is the god that you've been chasing? Lost the rush again, racing for adrenaline. Ready, set, begin, riding high, we fall to fly.
Hey, if you like the Relevant podcast, I think you'll like Relevant Magazine. If you don't get our flagship publication, you absolutely should, and there's never been a better time than right now. When the new issue featuring Hillsong United on the cover released a couple of weeks ago, our most stacked issue yet, we celebrated it, issue 99, by doing a short flash sale that weekend. It has gone so well, we bumped it another week, and we're bumping it again. If you want to get a year subscription to Relevant Magazine, we've never had a lower price. You can sign up and get the year for only $10 if you go to relevantmagazine.com/flash sale. Go do it right now because I don't know when they're going to pull the plug. Well, you're listening to our next guest, Kings Kaleidoscope. The song is Naked Feet and Holy Fire. Well, Chad Gardner is the leader of the band Kings Kaleidoscope, a genre-bending group whose latest project, Zeal, is a concept album that tells a very personal story. The album tracks an evolution of a faith journey from deconstructionism, doubt, and cynicism to childlike wonder and devotion to God. Jesse recently spoke with Chad about the album and the concept behind it and how Chad's own journey inspired it all.
Yeah, so I was really intrigued because I feel like you hear, right now a lot of stories of like the opposite journey. Like people start off with a real zeal for their faith and kind of like this childlike understanding, and they move to a place of kind of deconstructing it and doubt and questions. And so I was talking to Chad about why he wanted to like reverse that story and find, people who were, start at a place where people are deconstructing their faith and doubting it, and then moving back to a place where they really have that enthusiasm for God. And he kind of opened up about how, for years, he had worked at Mars Hill Church in Seattle, that Mark Driscoll had founded, which ended up dissolving under, several scandals involving Mark Driscoll. So he, for years, found himself in that place of like questioning where he went wrong. What is the church even supposed to look like? How to undo the damage? And here's what he said about that experience.
The reason for me and for a lot of the people in Kings is a lot of people have heard of Mars Hill Church. We were a part of that. I started going there when I was 15 years old, and I worked there for 5 years, and I ended up leaving just obviously because all that stuff was hitting the fan and it was a disaster. And I think a lot of people have experiences like that where they are part of a big church organization that really hurts them, or a pastor, or abuse. I mean, there's all kinds of crap, and I'm not downplaying any of it, but having worked for something like that and been in that, that's where Kings Kaleidoscope kind of started. I mean, I put the first album out after I had left that, but it got its start there kind of. I can relate to like, there's a lot of crap there, but I also just can't leave what was real. I don't want to just abandon what was real about that. There was a lot of true experiences with God as a part of that. And I think that's just hard. It's hard for people not to throw it all away. And that happens to a lot of people.
I think that's such an interesting tension. And what makes this album, the music is incredible, but the concept too is kind of what I have really enjoyed about listening to it, because I do feel like a lot of people find themselves in that tension of like, no, I remember when I was like, quote unquote, like on fire for God. And I remember what it was like to not have an awareness of the bad stuff, an awareness of kind of the corruption or the questions, and that didn't cloud how I feel. And now a lot of people, I feel like, find themselves in this kind of tension where they want that, the album's called Zeal. They want that zeal, but at the same time, they also want to be aware of the doubts and the questions and the bad stuff. And it's an awkward place to be sometimes.
So Richard Rohr has this concept where he talks about construction, deconstruction, and then reconstruction.
Yeah. And
it really helped me kind of frame like how I think about even the construction phase. Basically that every phase is like incredibly necessary to evolving as a spiritual being. And it's actually kind of challenged my thoughts a little bit on fundamentalism. Something that I feel like it's so easy for me to just say like, that's so bad, that's so ignorant, that's so backwards. And when I was listening to Richard Rohr kind of like teach on, you can't deconstruct something that you haven't constructed in the first place. What happens and where it goes wrong is when you get stuck in construction, when you're like so unwilling to let yourself have doubts, to ask questions, to learn from people who might have different, perspectives. You're stuck in construction, and then it can turn kind of toxic. Similarly, you can get stuck in deconstruction, where it's like you're critical and cynical of everything. You throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's like a very, deconstructive mentality, and people can get stuck in that. And the beauty of reconstruction, where you're doing exactly what Chad was saying, of being able to kind of reconstruct, here were these truths that got messed up or, mixed in, whether it was with power or moralism or whatever along the way. But here was like the spirit of truth in that. And I do want to reclaim that. But here are all the parts that I'm rejecting and saying, like, I don't believe in that, and kind of reconstructing. And it sounds like that's the process that he's in and pursuing. And I don't know, that was a very cool way that he talked about that. And to see his art come out of that reconstruction phase is really cool.
So I asked him to unpack the concept a little, and for him to articulate it, and why there are these kind of interesting moments in the album that really underscore simplicity. And here's what he said.
We actually began to think of Zeal as a character, and I started writing from the perspective of, here's a person who's rediscovering, his or her identity as Zeal. Like, this is who their identity is. They were made to be this way, and they've kind of lost who they are. And so the album actually takes an arc where, the beginning of this song, I'm writing from as this character is just desperately feeling lost and tired and just very unsatisfied, to the ending arc is, it's back to like the simplest little like Sunday school song you can sing, which is Jesus Loves Me. And I have a sample my mom sang when she was 7 or 8 years old in her church. They actually cut a vinyl of her singing with this little kid's choir, Jesus Loves Me, live. And I have that vinyl. And so we sampled it. And, that's like one of the last songs on the record is her singing that, alongside a freaking orchestra that we recorded from Budapest. It's pretty wild, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I start out with this character that's just confused, and the songs are heavier. And then at the end, it gets back to just like the simplest. Do you believe that Jesus loves you? And why do you believe it? Because the Bible says, and that is so, I think even that line in that song is so hard right now, because that's where most of the debate is like canon and theology and all that stuff. And it's like, we can run in circles with that all day long, but there is a great freedom in choosing to just believe the simplest thing there.
Yeah, I'll be honest. After hearing that song, I've never thought about the song "Jesus Loves Me" before in that context of like, wow, that's just a really simple, profound truth that's easy to be lost.
We in our family, I think one of my favorite parts of becoming a parent is has been the exercise of, if I had to boil this all down into something like a 2-year-old could understand, like, what are those core truths, has actually been a really healthy and like inspiring exercise. I just wrote this week our like family benediction that we're like teaching our 2-year-old. So it's literally like he can understand it. And it's been such a profound process of me going like, okay, underneath it all, like, what is the most true kernel of truth that I want to like teach to my children? And the reality is it's pretty simple and profound.
Do you remember the benediction?
The one that, yeah. So it's based off of, I took some pieces from, there's an organization called Intentional Parents. I think Jefferson Bethke, I think is his name.
Yeah.
So, but I rewrote ours to make it a little bit more applicable to our family. But it says, I'm not what I have, what I do, or what people say. I'm a child of God. No one can take that away. There's nothing I can do to make God love me any less or any more. I don't have to hurry or worry. Jesus settled the score. I can rest in the love of my divine father, mother, and let my courage and kindness be a gift to others.
Wow.
Well, that's
great.
great.
The Boho family benediction.
I love that.
Yeah, that's really
It's been really fun.
That's really
He's like
beautiful.
memorizing it, and all of a sudden, like randomly, he'll be like, I'm a child of God. No one can take that away. And it's incredible. It's like, if I could just channel that, it's like an amazing journey of being a parent, where it's like, I cultivate that thought, I teach it to you, and then you remind me of the truth that actually, like, I need to know and understand as deeply as you do. I'm not necessarily just teaching you. It's like this reciprocal truth that starts to circulate.
That's so interesting that you say that, because it really kind of underscores the idea of what it means to have like childlike faith. You know, it's not like necessarily like an intellect thing. It's like the ability to believe simple, profound truths and really like hold on to them and not let them kind of become like clouded by things that, sometimes adults have a tendency to cloud, simple ideas with. And that's, I asked Chad to kind of dig into that a little bit about that idea of simplicity. And here's what he had to say.
One of the things we would talk about a lot during this album was, okay, childlike faith. What are the experiences we felt like we had growing up that we would maybe look at now and kind of rip apart and go, well, maybe that's just nostalgia, or maybe that was just because, we're just looking back on it with like rose-colored glasses. And we'd kind of like give pause to ourselves and go like, is that really how we want to like think of our lives here? Or we could also just say, maybe that's not nostalgia. Maybe that's just the Holy Spirit. Maybe it's real. Maybe like God's actually tugging at our hearts and saying, don't you miss this? Don't you miss like trusting, versus having to like conquer everything with your mind, including me, which you'll never be able to do.
Yeah, I just love that idea because it seems so like kind of counter to the moment we're in a positive way. Of like you were saying, Liz, like it gets easy, I think, for some people sometimes to throw the baby out with the bathwater and let kind of doubts and questions overshadow like the very basics of, man, God loves us. We are children of God. I really like the idea of like unpacking what that childlike wonder is. So anyway, it's a really cool concept for an album, killer songs, but also it's got kind of a deep story behind it. So definitely check it out. It's called Zeal. It's out now.
Yep. That was King's Kaleidoscope. Hey, stay tuned. Up next, your feedback.
If you've ever struggled with depression, you know how dark the experience can be. Melissa Maimoni's book, The Radiant Midnight, is an exploration of the times when perspective dims, silence descends, and clarity fades. It doesn't simplify relief, and it doesn't diminish suffering. Maimoni knows despair can set in when you don't receive the things you believe you need most. Her book offers candid storytelling, biblical truth, and honest lament amid a journey through surrender, suffering, rest, and restoration. The Radiant Midnight is fueled by the belief that not only will God lead you out of darkness, He will be present within it. With Jesus, you are never without hope. Find contentment in painful circumstances and discover a profound intimacy with a God who offers radiance even in the darkness of a midnight. The Radiant Midnight by Melissa Maimoni, available wherever books are sold.
You're listening to Weevil. The song is The Wait. Well, it's time for your feedback. Last week, for the question of the week, we asked you, we were talking about that our very own Tyler Huckabee and his family, his mom and dad flew in from Nebraska to go to the Michael W. Smith tribute concert at the arena there in Nashville. Like 12,000 people show up, and it's a 3.5 hour long spectacular with like 50 artists giving tribute to who else but Smitty. I'm
sure you saw that in your pop culture Google, Liz. Yeah. I'm sure that was towards the top of
things happening in pop culture. Michael W. Smith tribute.
Yep. Michael W. Smith tribute, Royal Baby. Those are the
top two results.
Spheres.
One of my best friends / commune neighbors here on my little compound was on the road with Michael W. Smith for many years as his guitar tech. So I actually do stay strangely up to date with Michael W. Smith pop culture. Just letting you know.
Your beat.
This is right up your alley.
She doesn't Google for Michael W. Smith updates. She has to AOL for those. She has to log into the dial-up. That's where all the Michael W. Smith updates live.
Thankfully, I have hoarded thousands of free hours that came in the mail in the late 90s, so I'm totally fine on my AOL.
She asked her commune friend for another AOL CD so she can get the latest update from the Michael W. Smith.
That's how we do.
Yeah. So last week, the question of the week was, if you could organize your own Michael W. Smith style tribute concert, who would the tribute be for and who would perform? One of the ideas that we lobbed was a Weird Al Yankovic tribute, but every performance had to be the actual artist that he spoofed singing the Weird Al version of that artist's song. So
That's
like
rich.
Coolio having to do Amish Paradise, as the tribute to Weird Al Yankovic.
I would pay money for that.
Yeah, same. We would
Take
all
my
go.
money.
We would
Take
all
my
go.
money.
All right. So you guys wrote in, you tweeted us at Relevant Podcast, or you Googled how to tweet relevant, and then it came up. And you also posted on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here's a few of our favorites.
I like Grant's because his is not a tribute to one person. It is just a tribute to bad Christian songs of yesteryear.
Oh, wow. So who's sitting in the chair? Who's getting honored?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe you just have like a manager of an old Christian bookstore sit up there because they were the one peddling these back in the day.
Or the editor of CCM magazine is sitting in the chair.
Because it would be today's stars covering the bad songs of yesteryear. So he says, imagine Chris Tomlin singing "I Don't Want It" by DC Talk. I would actually pay to see that. Imagine Lauren Daigle covering "Satan by the Dust" by Carmen. Nothing could go wrong. Especially because most of those songs involve at least one verse that was rapped. So I enjoyed seeing that.
Yeah.
I'm really on board with Josh's idea, who suggested 3 hours of, which was the actual length of the tribute, 3 hours of mandatory Metallica performed by the exact same people from the Michael W. Smith tribute, which I think would be very entertaining. They would have to learn the songs. I would guess most of them are not familiar with Metallica, but once they got them down, I would really like to hear Amy Grant on like Enter Sandman or something.
Emily said a Taylor Swift tribute concert where all the people she wrote a song about perform that song. So Kim and Kanye sing "Look What You Made Me Do." Katy Perry sings "Bad Blood." John Mayer sings "Dear John." Whoever Drew is sings "Teardrops on My Guitar," and so on. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Super awkward, but it would be good.
Hard to know who would come out on top there. Is that Taylor's power move, getting other people to sing those songs for her, or is that the artists like saying, "I don't even care that you dragged me in a song. I'll sing it from stage."
I also want to see Tom Hiddleston have to perform like a song because I'm sure there's something about him. Weren't they an item for a while?
I don't know. Liz, can you Google that? Real quick.
Already on it, guys.
Turn to our pop culture correspondent, Liz Bohannon.
PC Walker said, I think the answer is easy. We'd have to see a 3-hour Carmen tribute show because all these artists just can't sing. They have to also act out all those dramatic songs in full costume. The human video aspect would be different. I like that.
Great.
Yeah, everyone comes out in those black T-shirts and, they're like invisible demons or whatever. And the one guy as Jesus comes out in I could totally see it.
White T-shirt. Yeah. I was a little surprised that Carmen didn't make the Michael W. Smith tribute thing, but I've also always kind of thought Carmen was a little bit left to center from like he was in that world, but not really of it. I'm not sure I
think the Smitties and Amy Grants, they knew of the Carmens, but Carmen was in a different lane. He was like in a ministry lane. He was
Carmen's
doing like free concerts. He was on TBN. That wasn't their lane. You know what I mean?
Liz, I have a question for you. Back in the day when you were watching Blue Crush wearing your Roxy tees, were you into the Christian music scene at all?
No, I knew of like, I'm trying to think Jars of Clay,
sure.
Which I will say, what's that one song? It's like very dramatic about like 40 days and the rain and I have very fond memories of that. Yeah. I was kind of like a Creed. I was a big Creed fan because, they were are they Christians? I think they're Christians, but they're not like overt. Yeah. That was kind of my jam. I did, however, rewrite the words to Ace of Base. I saw the sign to I heard the word. I heard the word and it opened up my eyes. I heard the word. So, I mean, why listen to Christian TV pop culture music when you can just rewrite the mainstream stuff, okay?
Oh, my word. That was my favorite moment in a long time on this podcast.
Oh, wow. Liz, I heard the word.
Is this my debut? Is this the moment where my career kind of takes a hard left
pivot?
This is your Chadwick Boseman Black Panther moment. This is
Christian satires of beloved 80s pop songs, 80s and 90s pop songs.
Discovered on Relevant Podcast.
But I'm thinking it's interesting. She likes the rebellious children of Christians. So she likes Creed because Mom and Dad Creed were strong Christians, churchgoers. Rebellious son becomes famous. Were you also into Coldplay? Because that's the story there. Were you into Mumford and Sons maybe a little?
There. Oh, you're reading me like a book.
All right, that's it. There's some spiritual overtones, some struggling.
A coat of colors, loved by some, feared by others. Right? Remember that? I'm sorry.
No, not really, but I'm enjoying your rendition of it.
I keep going. I think I'll get it. I almost had it there.
Come on. You definitely laid in your room in the dark and felt that as deeply as I did. Tell me that.
Is that a Creed? Is that a Creed?
I want to be there with you.
Yeah. Liz, how many Creed concerts have you been to?
Come on.
How many Creed concerts?
Don't tell us yet. Tyler, over under 5 Creed concerts for Liz.
I think right about there.
Liz, how many times have you seen?
I think she's a radio fan only. I don't think she's going to the shows.
How many Creed concerts, Liz?
One show.
Okay.
2, you know who was Creed's counterpart that was even like a little bit edgier? Do you guys remember Trapped?
Oh, I remember Trapped.
Oh yeah. Not only multiple Trapped concerts, but I got behind stage.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Did you have to sneak? Like, did you pretend to be a roadie, or how'd you get? How'd you get behind stage?
Yeah, but I feel like Trapped was like the Creed equivalent, but even like a little bit more edgy. This was my music taste in high school.
Wow.
That and like Spice Girls. So I had a lot of diversity.
Is there any existing recording of your Ace of Base, Christian parody?
If there was, you are not the group of people that I would release that to.
Was there choreography? Bedroom choreography?
Oh my gosh, Cameron, we don't know each other that well, but that is like, you don't need to ask that question.
Of course there was choreography.
I don't do anything without choreography is the answer to that.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember at Joy's wedding.
Yeah, she set the camcorder in the bedroom by the mirror, and she and her buddy, her 12-year-old friend, like had a whole routine to her Christian Ace of Base song.
We've actually
there may have been a ribbon involved, like a ribbon dancer. It's fine.
Oh yes.
You had like the Holy Spirit flags waving, And were you ever tempted to like ask your pastors, like, hey, listen, during offering, can we do like one of those special little dance numbers for the congregation?
It wasn't for the main. Jesse, this is not a main church situation. This is a youth group situation. She absolutely did it for youth group or youth camp. Absolutely.
No, you guys, this was, how the Bible says, pray in secret in your prayer closet. This was my secret. This was just me. It was just me and the Lord and my video camera doing my ribbon dancing tribute, Ace of Base. I heard the word.
Purest form of worship.
Just the purest form of worship.
Yeah, we were just talking about childlike faith and wonder.
It wasn't for the applause of man. It was for my audience of 1, you guys.
Oh, I'm so happy about this.
Oh, wow.
I'm already regretting it. Why do I regret it every time I'm on this podcast? I have this moment where I'm like, this feels like a good idea. And then
when you get to heaven and he's like, well done, my good and faithful servant. And you're like, didn't you love it when I was a kid and I did the Ace of Base thing? And he's like, yeah, that was great. That was really something you did for me. That was
that was something.
I totally
good for you. And he pats you on the head. Good for you. That was sweet. Okay, normally right now we pause, and listeners don't know this. This is behind the scenes intel. Normally we pause right now and we talk for a minute or two to come up with the question of the week, but we're not doing that. We're blowing right through it. It's time for
editorial question of the week. Hey.
The question, I'm not even asking for their input. The editorial question of the week this week is, have you ever written a Christian version of a mainstream song for an audience of 1? If so, what is it? And what were the lyrics? That's what we want to know.
And if you say no, we know you're lying.
You know you're lying.
You guys, how do people tell us this? Is it on Twitter? Because if so, I will figure out my password, which I've been trying to do for about 2 years.
To reply to the question of the week, you Google pop culture question response, and then it'll just tell you everything you need to know. No, you go on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, or you can post on the podcast episode page at relevantmagazine.com. We have to know this.
And Liz, to recover your Twitter password, you just need to publicly post your social security number in every public forum you can find, and they'll get you the password. Just
I'm on it. Thanks, team. Group effort.
And if you harbor any, as Liz does, political aspirations, then this is going to be sort of a trial by fire thing, because you're doing your own Oppo research here. You're dumping your own. You're dumping your own
dirt out there right away.
Out there.
Yeah.
That's smart. Better to do it now than to have somebody else drag it out there. Just get it out there in the open, and who knows? It might even help you.
Before we wrap things up, we actually, it's been a while, but we have a correction and apology.
Oh,
Oh,
it's been a while.
Several. We got like 5 tweets about this, so I figured
last week, off the cuff, I referenced some children were talking about. They were aghast with the news, the trivial item that the capital of Vermont doesn't have any fast food in it. No McDonald's, and I was like, yeah, kids. I heard that all those Bernie bros up there, they don't like their fast food stuff, and they've banned it from Vermont. Vermont has no fast food. Okay, so all y'all actually who live there hit us up and said that is not true. We have McDonald's, we have fast food, but it is true that the state capital of Vermont does not. I'm sorry for disparaging the great state of Vermont with the assumption.
You don't look sorry.
I'm not.
You don't sound sorry.
I'm just correcting it for them. All right. Hey, thanks to Squarespace for making the episode possible. Remember, you can go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your website, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. Also, thanks to Kings Kaleidoscope for joining us. Remember, their new album, Zeal, is out now. And if you Google Liz Bohannon, you might find her Ace of Base karaoke cover.
I heard the word.
Hey, Liz, it's so fun to have you join us. Thanks for sitting in with us. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Yes, you can find me. I would love to chat with you. I'm making a public commitment to figure out my Twitter password. That's a thing that's been on my to-do list for about 9 months. But really, if you want to chat, follow me on Instagram at Liz Bohannon, and check out my brand, Seiko Designs. That's SSEKO designs.com and on all the socials.
And and follow her for an update about when this I Saw the Sign parody will be released, and a generation will hear it and come to the Lord. Revival's breaking out.
That's true. Revival is on its way.
Yeah, more revivals will break out than the small town that puts a witty church sign up, and people just drive by and like, they're right. I do need to. God does answer an email. I need to start praying more.
Also, make sure to check out our other podcasts. We have Relevant Daily every weekday. It's about 10 minutes, bringing you the latest happening at the intersection of faith and culture. If you don't want to just have to Google what's happening, you can listen to Relevant Daily every day. It's about 10 minutes. It'll keep you in the know. Also, my long-form conversation podcast, Unedited, is coming out on Monday. We will be posting a conversation with Hillsong United's Joel Houston that is unbelievable. You won't want to miss it. So check out Unedited and Relevant Daily. Okay, on that note, we will wrap things up. Liz, thanks so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Chandler Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Liz Bohannon.
And we will see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
We're gonna be alright.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
Feeling inside, no matter how bad all this gets, I can't stop this voice in my head. This voice in my head says, we're gonna be alright.
There's no tactical advantage to wearing the hat with a shin strap that short.
Relevant Podcast Network.